I made him quit training. Witnesses in the audience. Where's Eric at? I made him quit. No, dude. We're doing positional grappling, and he positional grappling. All right, start on my back, and I was like first round. I let him choke me because it's like no one gives a. Let me tell you about this little. I'll tell you. When I walk into a gym, do you think that I go find the little weakest man? I say, let's spar. I say, no, I go find the biggest, baddest. I'm like, hey, I want to spar you. Every time Chimaev would walk in the gym, he would pick the smallest, lowest level pro and say, but he looks like my opponent. You're beating the fuck out of this. And this is a true story. You guys could back me up, my team. He would pick the smallest guy. Chimaev's a fucking bully. And if you notice what he does in the division, he just runs and fucking hides. Oh, now I want to go to 205 and fight Yuri, who's not even the fucking champ, dude. You just run and fucking hide. You did it when you train with us, and you're doing it in the division.
Sean Strickland dropped a bombshell, accusing Khamzat Chimaev of quitting during training. He claimed he made him quit positional grappling, painting Khamzat as nothing more than a fucking bully who consistently targets smaller, weaker fighters in the gym. This wasn't just trash talk. Strickland insisted there were witnesses, asserting that Khamzat only seeks out low-level pros, avoiding true challenges. This shocking revelation directly challenges Khamzat's dominant persona and casts a shadow on his gym reputation, igniting a fierce debate about their past encounters and true fighting spirit. The allegation itself is a direct attack on Chimaev's integrity, setting a volatile tone for any potential future clash.
I make them together.
But the drama didn't stop there. A 21-year-old fighter from Khamzat's own camp stepped forward with an even more astonishing claim, directly refuting Strickland's narrative. He declared he submitted Sean Strickland with a rear naked choke during a sparring session, while Strickland was preparing for another opponent. This young fighter detailed how he took Strickland down and finished him, twisting the knife further into Strickland's pride. This counter-allegation completely upends Strickland's story, suggesting it was he who was dominated by a far less experienced opponent, not the other way around. The conflicting accounts have left fans buzzing, wondering who is telling the truth.
I'm probably the only one that could beat Chimaev. I honestly think Fluffy's a better wrestler than Chimaev. Like, I think pace-wise, style-wise, I think over 5 rounds, Fluffy's probably a better, but then stand-up, I think Chimaev might take him to stand-up decision. So, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird what the UFC did with Chimaev. You brought a guy in that fights once a year who's like Madonna, who probably gets like, you know, I mean, how much money does that dictator give him on the table? Like, the guy doesn't need to fight, dude. He's best friends with a warlord, you know? Like, he doesn't need to fight. Dude gets gifted G-Wagons. So you have somebody who, like, he's just going to sit on that belt and wait until they force him to fight. And then, like, he wanted to fight Nassourdine or something, whatever the guy's name is. He's like, oh, I don't want to fight you, my brother. Like, what do you...
Sean Strickland wasn't holding back on Nassourdine Imavov either, making a truly wild claim about their past encounter. He alleged that after he punched your heart, Imavov went straight to his coach, pleading, please tell the guy, go easy, easy. Strickland ridiculed Imavov's self-proclaimed toughness, accusing him of feigning a man against the game persona while secretly begging for mercy. This astonishing accusation implies a profound weakness in Imavov, directly challenging his mental fortitude and questioning his courage in the face of a true challenge. The intensity of Strickland's jab was designed to deeply wound, fueling the already personal rivalry.
Khamzat, let me ask you, you might have saw Sean Strickland this week. He had a few things to say. He said that you're terrible for the division and he's the only guy out there to beat you. What do you say to that?
What should I say? This guy always talks on my show. We'll see.
But you guys trained together and you choked him out a few times, right?
We did spar a lot before, but that's why he's so mad.
Fair enough. Well, this guy choked him out as well.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm talking a lot about Sean. I'm not.
Now Sean gonna talk about bad things as well, so...
Okay.
He will be mad.
Is this just part of the game now? I mean, I feel like everybody's talking about Khamzat now. It's the best way to get
Well,
views.
he's the middleweight champion of the world, and that's the guy that people should want to fight. Good luck with that, by the way.
Nassourdine Imavov, in turn, harbors a deep, palpable hatred for Sean Strickland, admitting it's the driving force behind his desire for a rematch. He candidly stated, "What I have in my heart right now is to erase this defeat, this loss I had a few years ago." Imavov's animosity stems not just from the loss itself, but from Strickland's disrespectful comments about my people, and the way he speaks and sings. This personal vendetta transcends mere sporting rivalry. It's a burning desire for revenge fueled by profound indignation. Imavov's emotional honesty reveals a raw, unyielding determination to settle a score far beyond the octagon.
So, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird what the UFC did with Chimaev. You brought a guy in that fights once a year who's like Madonna, who probably gets like, you know, I mean, how much money does that dictator give him under the table? Like, the guy doesn't need to fight, dude. He's best friends with a warlord. He's just going to sit on that belt and wait until they force him to fight. But yeah, no, the middleweight division, man, like from a pure money perspective, you would make more money not fighting for the belt than you would fighting for the belt. Say Chimaev goes and fights Nassourdine in 6 months. Well, let's say Chimaev sprains his pinky like he normally does. Now he takes another year off. So it's like you're off for 2 years. The belt isn't even like, it's not even in my brain anymore. I don't even think about it. Like I'll make significantly more money just fighting.
Strickland escalated his war of words with inflammatory and offensive comments, targeting Imavov and others with derogatory slurs. He aggressively stated, "You take these stupid can go fuckers, and should go back and cave they belong, and you do not even in France, you can dirty terrorist." These deeply offensive remarks not only reveal Strickland's unfiltered and controversial nature, but also significantly heighten the personal stakes of any potential fight. Such language, regardless of intent, is bound to provoke strong reactions and deepen existing animosities. His unchecked rhetoric ensures that the verbal jabs are as impactful as any punch.
Alex Pereira teasing potentially going up to heavyweight. Do you want to see him compete at heavyweight, or do you want to see him defend the light heavyweight title in this next match?
Well, you know, he's one of those guys that that always steps up, does whatever we need him to do. Whatever that guy wants to do, we would work with him.
Imavov, undeterred, painted a grim picture for Sean Strickland in a potential rematch, boldly predicting a devastating knockout. He stated with chilling confidence that with the right weight class in camp, the outcome would be very different, leaving Strickland unconscious. Imavov further taunted Strickland, claiming he's ready to get choked by Khamzat. That's not painful, but not ready to get destroyed and end up with a bloodied face. This explicit threat of a violent finish showcases Imavov's unwavering belief in his ability to not only beat, but emphatically finish Strickland, intensifying the anticipation for their eventual showdown.
We've seen Khamzat Chimaev fight at welterweight. We see him fight at middleweight. Is he someone that if he says, hey, I want to fight at light heavyweight, we'd see him fight at light heavyweight?
I'd like to see him defend his title at at a weight first. Yeah, I'd like to see him defend his title before he talks about jumping around from, you know, you're going to keep going up in weight divisions without defending. Yeah, I'd rather see him defend.
Even Daniel Cormier weighed in, offering a surprising take on Sean Strickland's chances against Khamzat Chimaev. Cormier stated that if that guy that showed up tonight shows up in that Khamzat fight, it would be a much more difficult fight for the great Khamzat Chimaev. He went on to highlight that even Israel Adesanya at the peak of his power struggled with that version of Sean Strickland. This high praise from a respected former double champ elevates the perception of Strickland's potential, suggesting he possesses a unique style capable of troubling even elite fighters, making a Khamzat matchup an even more intriguing prospect.
So 205, is that something that I know you were calling out Pereira. He ignored that, right? There was never any response?
No, never response, but so we'll see if anyone else. I won't just become a double champ. And then I can go back to my weight class or stay there or go out more up. Try. I know that guys were trying to go out from the UFC like undefeated this and that. I don't care. Just want to make some stuff.
How old are you now, Khamzat?
The confidence in Sean Strickland reached an unbelievable level when streamer Aiden Ross declared he's ready to bet $1 million on Strickland to defeat Khamzat Chimaev. Ross adamantly insisted, if Sean fights Khamzat, Sean wins, challenging anyone to put the clip on record. This staggering wager underscores the belief some have in Strickland's ability to pull off an upset, transforming the verbal sparring into a high-stakes, real-world prediction. Such a massive public bet adds an incredible layer of hype and speculation, drawing even more eyes to the potential clash and the bold claims surrounding it.
Aiden Ross believes Sean Strickland would absolutely destroy Khamzat Chimaev and is so confident he's ready to bet $1 million on him. He insists if Strickland fights Khamzat, he wins, and even challenges fans to put the clip on record.
So
Khamzat Chimaev, in response to Sean Strickland's relentless trash talk, remained remarkably unfazed, seemingly dismissing it all with a shrug. When asked about Strickland's claims of being the only one to beat him, Khamzat simply retorted, "He's going to always talk so much. Show up. We'll see." He subtly mocked Strickland's talkative nature, calling him a funny guy who talks too much. Khamzat even hinted at their past sparring, stating, "We did do it this far a lot before, but that's why he's so mad, because he's mad." This calm, confident demeanor suggests Khamzat believes actions speak louder than words, adding fuel to the ongoing feud.
Yeah, Paulo Costa.
Paulo.
A major fight update revealed that a highly anticipated clash between Khamzat Chimaev and a top contender was initially targeted for December, then rescheduled for February. However, these plans tragically collapsed after Khamzat reportedly suffered an injury, leaving fans desperate for an official announcement disappointed. While no contract was ever signed, the UFC clearly had intentions for this marquee matchup, confirming that negotiations were well underway before the setback. This unexpected twist leaves a gaping hole in the middleweight division's schedule, frustrating fans eager to see Khamzat back in action and cementing his place as a top contender. Sean Strickland's coach, Eric Nixick, unveiled their strategic blueprint for dismantling Khamzat Chimaev, focusing on disrupting his formidable system. Nixick explained that Khamzat's strength lies in structured chain wrestling, where attacks flow seamlessly. The game plan involves breaking those sequences, forcing Khamzat to restart and put some doubt in his mind regarding his entries. He stressed that simply defending takedowns isn't enough. Khamzat can pay for it each time he shoots, emphasizing a strategy of making him feel a heavy price. This tactical breakdown offers a rare glimpse into the complex preparation required to face such a dominant force. The legend of Khamzat Chimaev's sparring prowess continues to grow, with observers describing his gym performances as nothing short of extraordinary. One account marvels, "I've never seen anything like that in my life." He's like, "Dude, but I'm telling you, he's mopping the floor with like Division I All-Americans, world-class grapplers, jitsu black belts." This vivid description paints a picture of a fighter who utterly dominates elite competition even in training, reinforcing his reputation as a generational talent. Such reports only amplify the excitement and fear surrounding his potential, making every one of his fights a must-watch event. Sean Strickland, ever the contrarian, boldly declared himself as the sole middleweight capable of conquering Khamzat Chimaev. He asserted with unwavering confidence, "I am probably the only one that could beat Chimaev's." He even provocatively suggested that another fighter, Fluffy, might be a better wrestler than Khamzat in terms of pace-wise, style-wise, over 5 rounds, though he conceded Khamzat might win a stand-up decision. This self-assured statement highlights Strickland's unique self-belief and willingness to take on the division's most feared contender, setting the stage for a monumental clash of personalities and fighting styles. Strickland continued his verbal assault on Khamzat Chimaev, specifically criticizing his perceived inactivity. He labeled Khamzat as terrible for the division, mockingly comparing him to Madonna, who fights once a year. Strickland implied Khamzat's wealth and connections, being best friends with a board, meant he doesn't need to fight and is merely gifted, you Agnes. This accusation suggests Khamzat's financial independence is detrimental to the competitive flow of the middleweight division, portraying him as a stagnant force rather than an active champion. Such a direct attack on Chimaev's dedication is bound to draw a sharp response. Furthering his critique, Sean Strickland suggested Khamzat Chimaev is actively holding up the middleweight division by just going to sit on the belt and wait until they force him to fight. He even sarcastically referenced Khamzat's pinky injuries, implying they were excuses for his prolonged absences. Strickland argued that staying active, even without a belt, is financially more rewarding, stating, "You would make more money not fighting for the belt than you would fighting for the belt." This provocative insight questions Khamzat's true motivations and priorities, suggesting a lack of genuine desire to compete regularly. Nassourdine Imavov made it clear that while his ultimate goal remains the championship belt, his personal animosity towards Sean Strickland still burns fiercely. He declared, "The only thing I'm focusing on is the belt, not the owner of the belt," emphasizing his desire for the title above all. However, he admitted, "If the UFC called me tomorrow, with the hate I have in my heart, of course it will be Sean Strickland." This candid confession reveals a fascinating dichotomy, strategic ambition for the gold, yet a deep-seated personal grudge that would override all else if given the choice. His conflicting desires paint a complex picture. Khamzat Chimaev, ever ambitious, has set his sights on moving up a weight class to challenge Alex Pereira, aiming for the coveted double champion status. He openly called out Pereira, noting that the Brazilian ignored that initial challenge. But Khamzat remains resolute in his goal to become a double champ. This bold move aligns with Pereira's own consideration of entering the heavyweight division, creating a dynamic situation where both fighters are looking to push boundaries. Khamzat's willingness to fight anywhere, against anyone, underscores his primary focus on securing the biggest fights and creating major events. However, UFC President Dana White delivered a clear directive to Khamzat Chimaev, emphasizing the need to defend his current title before chasing new divisions. White unequivocally stated, "I'd like to see him defend his title at that weight first, before he talks about jumping around." This firm stance highlights White's desire for champions to establish dominance in their current weight class before seeking further accolades. It's a direct message to Khamzat, signaling that the path to multi-division glory begins with solidifying his reign as middleweight king, preventing him from potentially holding up multiple divisions. In contrast to his stance on Khamzat, Dana White expressed full support for Alex Pereira's contemplation of moving up to the heavyweight division. White praised Pereira, describing him as one of those guys that always steps up, does whatever we need him to do. He assured that whatever that guy wants to do, we would work with him, affirming the UFC's commitment to accommodating Pereira's ambitions. This differential treatment underscores Pereira's reputation as a reliable and dynamic fighter, willing to take on challenges, and suggests the UFC values his willingness to adapt and create exciting matchups within any weight class he chooses. Sean Strickland completely shut down Nassourdine Imavov's call for a rematch, curtly dismissing his former opponent. Strickland declared, "Listen, I've moved past you. I've beat you. Relax." He then laid out a clear condition. Either you get the belt, or I get the belt. Once you get the belt, I'll take it from you. Once I get the belt, you'll lose to me. This arrogant dismissal effectively tells Imavov he's irrelevant until he achieves championship status, further igniting Imavov's already deep-seated desire for revenge and the title. Strickland's words were a calculated effort to belittle and provoke. Imavov is convinced that his loss to Strickland was merely a fluke, insisting that with the right weight class in camp, the outcome of a rematch would be drastically different. He emphatically stated, "Everything will be different in the rematch. In the right weight class, with a proper camp for facing him, he'll end up unconscious." This strong belief in his own adjustments highlights Imavov's confidence that the previous fight was not a true reflection of his capabilities. He's certain that under optimal conditions, he possesses the tools to not just beat, but utterly destroy Strickland, making the potential rematch even more compelling. The middleweight division is now a powder keg, primed for explosive matchups as personal grudges, strategic battles, and championship stakes collide. Khamzat, Strickland, and Imavov are all throwing relentless callouts, each fueled by a mix of revenge, ambition, and a burning desire for gold. From gym sparring controversies to verbal wars about national identity, the intensity is palpable. These deep-seated rivalries, combined with the pursuit of the championship, guarantee a series of unforgettable encounters, ensuring that every move and every word will reverberate throughout the world of combat sports. The stage is set for an epic saga. The stage is now definitively set for explosive matchups, where intensely personal vendettas intertwine with the relentless pursuit of championship glory, promising a volatile and unforgettable future for the middleweight division. The burning questions remain, hanging heavy in the air. Who will face whom first, and what shocking twist or unforeseen consequence will unfold next in this incredible saga of ambition, rivalry, and raw fighting spirit? The tension is undeniable, the stakes are impossibly high, and every fan is left on the edge of their seat awaiting the next dramatic chapter.